Miss Brandy. How are you?
Okay.
How was your week going?
Doing really well.
Please make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. I sure will.
All right. So the last time you were here, you had just made this big move
Yes.
to Florida.
Yes.
You were looking for work, and you were here with your sister.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how your transition is going. It's been about 2 weeks so since we last talked. How's it going?
Yes, it's gone a lot better. I applied a lot of the tactics and things that you had mentioned, and I ended up a couple of days later, after going to a job fair, getting hired on at my university, and my sister ended up getting hired as well. So things are picking up. We have more of a stable living arrangement, so things are a lot better than they were before. I'm glad that I came to speak to you and got kind of that anxiety out the way.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So you mentioned that your life now is more stable. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I work, 9 to 5 hours, which is something that I really, really wanted. My sister works at the school, so it makes it a lot easier because we're both centrally located all the time. And yeah, my living arrangements are a lot better, and just it's a lot of pressure been taken off my shoulders because I don't feel like everything's on me as much as it was before.
Okay, so the pressure has been taken off of you.
Yes, for the most part, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. So tell me about your experience since you've been starting this new job and you found somewhere to live. So tell me about how does that make you feel now? Because I know you were expressing anxiety. So how is your anxiety level right now?
It's gone down a lot. I see that now that I have a job and I really throw myself into learning it and really throw myself into school and just get acclimated with the area. I see that a lot of my anxiety's gone down and my confidence has gone up a lot more.
So your confidence has gone up a lot. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that.
I'm not as timid as I was. I saw that I was letting my personal life and things that I hadn't achieved or felt like I should have achieved affect how I felt about myself. So
Okay.
I don't feel that way no more.
Okay. So you are talking about you're not allowing your personal life and your achievements to bring you down. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm just learning, to just embrace every stage of my life and not be so hard on myself. I really equated my self-worth to what I was doing, how I was living, what I was wearing, and now that I have my job and I went through a rough period, I see that it's my life is worth more than that. That just because I don't have those things doesn't mean I'm not valuable. So I'm learning to not put so much pressure on I have to have it all right now. Just the fact that I'm in good health, my sister's in good health, and we're making it. Just you mentioned taking things day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Doing things like that helps a lot versus me just trying to do everything at one time and try to be everything at one time.
Okay, so taking things day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you said a lot, and you seem like you've come a long way since the last time we've been here. I know you're working now. You're still taking care of your sister, but she has a job as well, so that's taking a little bit of pressure off for you. How does that make you feel for her to have a little bit more independence?
It makes me feel good. Sometimes we conflict a lot because I feel like it was a lack of respect level because I realized I took a lot of my anger out on her because I felt like I was kind of her mother role and I felt like it wasn't fair to me. And so I realized a lot of my anger that I took out on her was me feeling resentful. But now that she's working, we sat down and talked about it, and I apologized to her about it, and the dynamic has switched because now I don't feel like I'm forced into a role that I shouldn't be playing, which really had nothing to do with her, but I realized a lot of my anger was because of that.
Right. So you mentioned anger. Tell me a little bit more about you feeling angry.
I was feeling very angry with her because a lot of things, there's almost a 10-year age difference. And so I was feeling very angry, when I would tell her something or try to advise her on certain things, because I've been through it. And I just would get angry sometimes because I feel like she wasn't listening, because we are sisters and we are very close. However, she doesn't maybe see me in that serious role, versus maybe my mom, who should be acting as that role. And so, little things what I would lash out on, okay, if this wasn't straightened up, or, if I say, help me with this, or I wanted her to, I guess, think how I was thinking, but I had to remember that there's an age difference.
Right.
So I would get very, very angry, but I'm working on it.
I'm glad to hear that. So you said role. What role would you like for your sister to see you in? What is that ideal role?
That's a really, really good question. That is really, wow. I guess I would want her to see me as, of course, her big sister, but just as a positive influence, someone she can trust and confide in. Some of the similar characteristics of a mother, but not to that extent. So I guess just a positive female role model in her life that's there for her, almost like a best friend kind of thing. I guess that would answer the question, but that was really good. Maybe I'll think about that for our next session.
Okay. So how does this make you feel that you've expressed this, that you've kind of identified how you want your relationship to be with her?
I feel like kind of like some anxiety just kind of went out of me right now for you asking that, because I never really sat and thought about it that way, about how I wanted to see me. I know a lot of my actions that I've taken in the last couple of months have been wanting her to see me as somebody that's, that holds integrity, that does what they say they're going to do. Just the opposite of what my mom didn't show her, just somebody I'm not perfect, but somebody that, just has somewhat of their head on their shoulder, not all over the place. So, yeah.
Okay, so integrity.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? You said a lot. You said integrity. You said role model, and your mom.
Well, my mom is very flaky. She always has been. As she progressed, as she got older, it's gotten worse. And, she doesn't, one thing that I'm really big on is, if you do what you say you're going to do, and, hold yourself to a standard of, okay, my decisions might affect somebody else. Mm-hmm. And so I see that that's somewhere in her life that she kind of lacks, where I used to lack that when I was her age, until I had someone kind of mentor me. And I want her to know at 22 that can maybe, stop a lot of her opportunities, because everyone's not, going to want to hear excuses,
Right.
And you promising to do something and don't deliver, that might affect someone else, and just to hold yourself in a way that you would want someone to hold you. So, yeah.
So someone to hold you. Who is taking care of you?
Nobody really at this point. I have a boyfriend. I talk to him about certain things, but no one really right now. That's something I want to work on, giving back to myself. But I think I got a lot of it under control for the most part. So yeah.
Okay, so you have it under control. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm not making irrational decisions. Like, I'm not all over the place. I would say, like my mom, putting people over my children, quitting jobs, just doing things that, again, it's going to affect everybody else. Not just, I cater to my needs, but I also, I just not being reckless, You have a responsibility, take care of it. Don't have everyone else taking care of your responsibilities. Like, You know, no one really gives me excuses. I don't really have no one to fall on, and so it just disgusts me when someone does stuff like that. They think everybody else should be responsible for their choices.
Right.
You know, and that's okay. But if you're not making an effort to try to help yourself, everyone makes bad choices or messes up. But you know, if you're not trying to help yourself and then you want everyone to feel sorry for you, that's not fair.
So it seems like you are doing a lot of great things right now. And even though you don't have the full support of what you really need, you're still doing well. So I think that you should be proud of that. But let's talk about some self-care. What do you enjoy doing? I know we talked about this before, but let's just say one thing that you can do for self-care for yourself for this following week, going into the next week.
I really love pampering myself. I really love like Sephora and Ulta. And for the last couple of weeks I've been saying, you know, I would love to just give myself, like maybe you'll get a facial there, just spend some time looking at new products. That like relieves a lot of tension for me because I can just get immersed and just focusing on myself, you know.
Okay. So when is the last time you focused on yourself?
It's been a long time. I can't even remember. But it's something I like to do.
So can you think of a point in your life where you were happy or at peace?
When I was painting.
Oh.
Yeah, I had won a ticket in a contest to go to like a sip and stroke, and I didn't know that I was talented at painting, and I guess I was, and I really enjoyed it.
So what did you enjoy about it?
I enjoyed starting with nothing, and then by the end, the picture was really, really beautiful. I mean, we got a blank canvas, and it was outlined and stuff, but you know, you can add your little touch with it. So I liked starting. I didn't know what it was going. I saw what it was supposed to look like, you know, from what the instructor showed. But when you look at the canvas, it was completely like, oh. But then as time progressed, you know, I started doing my own little thing, and then this beautiful picture popped up.
Wow. You described a lot. Starting for nothing, and then this big, beautiful picture. How do you feel that relates to you as a person?
I feel like maybe it might be my own personal situation, because I literally like started with nothing, especially coming down here. I didn't have no blueprint. Kind of like the canvas, it was completely blank, and then at the end, the whole picture just kind of came together. So, yeah, I can say maybe that's why that meant a lot to me.
Very good. So it meant a lot to you.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Why did it mean so much to you?
It meant a lot to me because the ending was better than the beginning.
Very nice. I love that. The ending was better than the beginning.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. So maybe I can try to find something like that down here. You know, I think that make me very happy and spend some time with myself.
I like that. So thinking the ending is better than the beginning. So when you look at you as a woman, how does that reflect to you? The ending is better than the beginning.
That just because you come from certain circumstances, it doesn't determine how you know, go about your life. I guess that maybe, you know, who I was starting out, it, you know, doesn't control who I am going like forward, you know.
Okay. So going forward, where do you see yourself?
That's a good question. Finishing graduate school, doing my hours and stuff, and going into having my own practice and for young women, and just giving back to my community, but working with young women, and yeah.
Now, how would those accomplishments overall make you feel?
They would make me feel truly sick. They would make me feel successful, that I was able to overcome my own situation and then teach someone else how to deal with theirs. It would make me feel like whole, like I contributed to society.
So it will make you feel whole.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you, feeling whole?
It just means feeling, I guess, at peace with yourself.
I love that.
So,
Okay. So, you have expressed a lot today. What have you learned, or what was the most important thing about our session today?
I think the most important thing was learning how things connect, and that how you start something doesn't determine how you finish it, and you just, as long as you just keep progressing towards your goals, things will get better. But just mostly just being kind to myself and reflecting on of all what I have accomplished, and giving myself credit along the way.
I love that. Being kind to yourself. I love that. Well, I really enjoyed talking to you today. It's always a pleasure.
Yes.
And, I would love to continue this. Would you like to meet next week?
Yes, I would. I would love to meet next week.
Okay. All right, Brandy. Well, it was a pleasure. Anything before we close out?
No, that's fine. All
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
right, thank you.
Okay. I think you gave me